Hey, good morning. So the eagle-eyed amongst you in the last video will have noticed probably two things. Maybe one thing, and the second one's a little harder to notice. The first is that the shipping container came in. Fortunately, I didn't get footage of that. I was worried about it not being able to make it in here with the tight access coming down the driveway and getting it back there, but that went in no trouble, so pretty happy about that. The second thing is you would have noticed a shadowy figure at the end of the time lapse coming down and taking some measurements down here. That shadowy figure was me. And I discovered a difference between the plans that I drew and the plans that the engineer drew. My big learning is I probably should have spent a lot more time going over the engineer's plans and checking every detail. Really can't fault him too much. Because I had final approval on that. So the difference was I measured the front of this building being from the top of the slab to underneath the eaves as being 16 feet. So the usable space on the front between the bottom of the garage door and where the as I was saying, I measured the 16 feet from the concrete slab, top of the slab, to underneath the eaves. The engineered plans had 16 feet from grade to the top of the eaves, aka the top of the ceiling. That works out to be a difference of 13 inches. My slab has a 3-inch insulation and 4 feet of cement or concrete, sorry. That's 7 inches, plus the eaves, or the girts, sorry, the purlins, they're 6 inches. So 6 inches at the top, 7 inches at the bottom, 13 inches of difference. That 13 inches of difference has led to a lot of changes to the building. Probably the first change that I realized is I'm not going to have enough clearance at the top of the stairs at the mezzanine to meet code with this 13-inch reduction. So code says you need 6'8" at the top of, or anywhere along the stairs of headroom. You're not a lapdog anymore, puppy. I had that in, a little over that actually, in the original design, but with losing 13 inches, I lost that at the top of the stairs. So the plan was, okay, well fine. I had a 9-foot ceiling on the mezzanine. I could drop the floor down by a bit and give us the clearance at the headroom at the top. Problem with that is there's a beam at the front, at the bottom of the stairs, and I'd lose headroom at the bottom of the stairs. So we end up going from a straight run stair to a stair that started back a little bit, went up, then dog-legged around. Dropping the mezzanine floor down also meant that the windows on the back of the building had to come down by 6 inches so that they wouldn't be touching the ceiling. It also meant that on the front of the building, the original plan was to have a 14-foot high by 12-foot wide garage door there. You could still fit that with the 13 inches lower. There's a little bit, hey, there would have been a little bit under a foot of clearance, which you could fit a low headroom mechanism in. But the problem with that is just aesthetically. I didn't like the look of having a 14-foot door almost touching the ceiling. And because I wanted the windows along the front of the building to be aligned up with the top of the door, it would have pushed the windows up to right under the eave, and that would have sort of just changed the light characteristics of the building. Plus aesthetically, I think it would have looked a little weird. So decided I had to shorten the door. Luckily, the way the door is made is there's 2-foot panels that make up the 14 feet. If you just don't include one of those 2-foot panels in construction, you get a 12-foot door instead of a 14-foot door. So we have now a 12-foot door here. That's okay. I think it was a pipe dream to imagine that I'd ever be needing to actually use a 14-foot door, given how difficult it was to get the shipping container is. I don't imagine many semi-trailers backing up and needing a full height door here. So 12-foot should be fine. There was a lot of problems to solve just because of this 13-inch difference. And it made what was a short week an even shorter week. We had Thanksgiving last week, so Wednesday was the last day of work. Thursday was Thanksgiving. Friday was day off for everyone. We sort of found this problem, I think, on Tuesday, and on Wednesday they were able to get in the mezzanine at the new height and start putting on some of the girts for the walls. Next week, I think they're going to try and get more of the girts up and hopefully get the metal for the ceiling, for the roof delivered, and get this building sheltered from the rain pretty soon, because while it's a nice day today, we've had some pretty heavy rain over the last couple of days and the job site is turning into mud, which this boy loves. Our couch doesn't love, and my pants are getting dirty. That's okay. So that was sort of a recap of last week. The lesson that I learned is the construction phase is not the best time to discover differences between plans. Turns out that this was actually not a very costly mistake to fix. The biggest expense was really just adding a landing to the stairs so that they can dogleg around and make the headroom requirements. That landing requires 3 additional 4x4 posts to support it. Not super expensive. In fact, changing from the 2x6s to the 2x10s was way more expensive. So it was a relatively cheap thing to fix, a bummer to fix because it changes my design a little bit. But I'm glad that we got a solution. I got a big props to the construction company for working with me to help get this right. So that's it for this week. I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we'll have a roof on this building pretty soon. Bye.